Soviet team. A perfect foil for Boginskaya is American Kim Smesko, and as Svetlana's doors are closing, Kim's are wide open. Explosive and dynamic, she hopes to follow the footsteps of idol Mary Lou Retton, and with 6 perfect performances under her belt, it is not long before she becomes the leader that many believe she was born to be. Canada's Stella Ume burst on the international scene in 1990 when she was called to the Commonwealth Games as a last-minute replacement for an injured team member. Fighting jet lag and acclimatization, Stella rose to the occasion, finishing 9th all round. Now making her mark on the world, she has captured the hearts of fellow gymnasts everywhere who delight in her antics and the warmth of her smile. Today, they will face the rest of the best as the top 36 women in the world challenge each other for the all-round championship. Hello, everybody. I'm Tracy Wilson. This competition is the qualifying event for the 1992 Barcelona Olympics. A country must finish in the top 12 in the team event here in order to qualify to send a full team of 6 to next summer's games. There were some anxious moments for Canada's women's team as they moved from 13th to 12th in the final stages of the team event to grab the last remaining spot. Our women were led by 16-year-old Stella Ume of Mississauga, Ontario, and she is qualified to compete today in the women's individual all-round. For more, let's join Sunil Joshi and Larissa Lowing.
It has indeed been an exciting week for all Canadians, especially Stella Ume, who it appears has picked up where she left off at the Commonwealth Games.
Stella's been fabulous this year, and she was great at this competition too, but it doesn't necessarily count because they're starting new life, which means they're all at ground zero now.
And ground zero looking way up at Svetlana Boginskaya, who is absolutely the queen of gymnastics.
She certainly is. She's defending world champion, and with that is coming a lot of pressure. She was facing retirement this year, but now she's back in top form, and she's being pushed by a lot of younger gymnasts. So it could be anybody's game tonight.
Let the games begin. The competition will continue in a moment.
Earned her a perfect 10 in the team competition. Yurchenko layout full, little step on the ending, but it was a great vault.
This is just her first vault. She will be back with vault number 2 in a moment. But let's go to Svetlana Boginskaya, young woman we were talking about in the opening, who's the queen of gymnastics on the beat.
She's opening up, front tuck, right into her combination lead.
At 5'4", is she one of the taller gymnasts in the world?
She is one of the taller gymnasts. However, with her line, it looks great on her. A lot of gymnasts can't handle that, but for her, it's great.
Now, in the opening, we discussed that she wanted to retire after the Goodwill Games, and you said that she gained some weight.
She had gained some weight going into the European Championships. She still managed to win the competition, however, which shows you how strong she is, and she's back here in top form, looking even skinnier than she was before. Gainer layout. Incredible form. Required full turn.
Boginskaya scored a perfect 10 on the floor at the '89 World Championships.
Here she is, setting up for her dismount. Round off, double back dismount, almost a perfect landing. Those are what counts, those little tiny steps there. 9-9-1-2, almost perfect.
Here's Kim Smesko again on the vault, number 2.
And she nails the vault. That's what earned her the perfect 10 in the team competition.
And Coach Bella Karolyi definitely pleased with that score and her performance. Mississauga's Stella Ume. Her role with the team is more than just being a gymnast.
I find that a lot of people lose sight of the real meaning of competitions. because they think there's a lot of politics in it. But being the person that I am, we want to keep the rest of the gymnasts out of the politics and just leave it up to our coaches, but always give them the chance to have a laugh occasionally. So I'm here to be the joker. Personally, the way I focus is taking out, the audio and visual stuff on the floor, listening to my Walkman, blasting the music in my ears, playing my Game Boy. I do anything, and I think that people kind of frown upon me and look at me like she's kind of obnoxious. She doesn't take this seriously, but I personally think that you have to be relaxed to compete well. You can't be uptight and scared, and that's the only way I can relax and calm down. I'll just take it as it comes. I won't overdo it. I won't, hold back anything. I'll just be myself and let whatever happens happen.
Stella Ume, who has vaulted into prominence as far as the Canadian team is concerned, on the vault.
Same vault as Kim Zmeskal. It's an excellent job for Stella. Stella actually can do a double twist, but she's chosen to do the full twist in here.
A 9-8 score. Appears pleased with that. Christina Bontash on the floor. Christina was 4th at the '89 Worlds.
Starting out with a gorgeous double layout. As you can see, Christina's chosen quite the American-style music to keep that crowd pumping.
Not to mention the judges.
Not to mention the judges.
Christina lists cheese, candy, and whipped cream as her favorite foods. Obviously, she can't partake in that too often, can she?
No. Round of back handspring, full twist in the back handspring, double back. Incredible line. It's very difficult to fit all of that in one tumbling line.
What exactly are the judges looking for in any of these routines on the floor?
Obviously, they want to see that you have great difficulty, but they also want to see that you're having fun out there. They don't want you to show the audience that it's hurting or that you're tired. They want you to show that you're having a great time and enjoying what you're doing. Full in, back out for last line. Incredible. Finishing off with the American anthem.
Be interesting to see if that helps her as far as the marks are concerned. 9.937, I'd say it helped her a little bit.
I'd say it did.
Our next competitor is Tatiana Lysenko. She was 3rd at the Goodwill Games on the uneven bars.
That was a Shaposhnikova right into a full twist. Not many people do that. Right into a Jaeger. She's working very cleanly so far. Stalder, you don't see too many of those nowadays. It's nice to see. Well, it was an older move before, and it is a pretty move, so girls are starting to put it back in. That was an incredible dismount, front with a half.
9.937 on the uneven bars for Tatiana Lysenko. Bulgarian Silvia Mitova.
It's nice to see the Bulgarians back in here. They've had a lot of problems building up their team, but they have a strong team in here now.
In fact, at this competition, they're being sponsored by Logo 7, a local clothing manufacturer. Otherwise, they would have had problems getting here.
Yes. She opened up with a gorgeous double layout. What's interesting about this routine is it's not the same as everybody else's. It's rather different. It has abstract dance, which should help in the scoring.
Is that a change in the way judges are looking at it? They're looking less for the classical things and more something new and vibrant?
They're looking now for something different. Rather than just seeing tumbling all the time, they want to know that the girls can actually dance and show the personality that they have through that dance. Coming up for her last tumbling line. Right now, the judges are checking to see if she's showing any signs of whether she's tired or not. She doesn't seem to be. Round-off back handspring, double back, immediate punch front, excellent last line.
Well, if you were marking this routine, what would you give her?
I'd say high 9.9s.
Well, the judges gave her a 9.887 on the floor. At the conclusion of the first rotation, Kim Smeskal vaulting into first place. Bontas from Romania second, and Bogunskaya tied for fourth place. In fact, a lot of ties after rotation number 1. Svetlana Bogunskaya, used to being in first place and nothing but first. She finds herself in fourth spot, needs to heat up, so she's warming up.
What do you think?
2 for the World Gymnastics Championships, the women's all-round competition. Henrietta Onadi from Hungary on the balance beam.
Henrietta actually fell in the previous rotation on bars, which is going to hurt her score a lot in the all-around. Showing her incredible flexibility.
She was 20th at the 89 Worlds.
Oh, that's really disappointing for Henrietta. That's 2 falls. It's going to really cost her now. She normally never falls on that.
How far can you fall back?
The competition is really tight, and especially at a world competition level. The scoring is really hard, so any fall could drop you from 10th to 18th.
In fact, that happened to you once, didn't it?
Certainly did in 89. It's a nice planche. Walking forward out of it.
I guess all you can do at this point is just carry on with the rest of your routine.
Yes, you have to keep the momentum going. You know you've fallen, but you have to block it out and know that you still have 2 more events left to go. Anything could happen with anybody else. Who knows? Somebody else might fall too. You just have to keep going. Triple twist. Little hop on the ending.
Henrietta Onadi from Hungary, who fell on the bars, also falls off the beam, and the marks certainly reflect that, and she is not happy with her performance. Shannon Miller, American, on the floor, using Irving Berlin for her music.
Round off whip right into a full in. Incredible line. Shannon was actually the top American after the team competition. If you watch her face closely, she's going to try and play up to the crowd a little bit, so that brings her energy level up as well.
Well, we've seen that from really all the Americans here. They're using the crowd to perhaps impress the judges a little more.
Yes, I think everybody tries to do that in some way. It helps your energy level as well and gives a great presentation to the judges.
In terms of difficulty, what do you think of this routine?
She has incredible amounts of difficulty. I remember seeing Shannon not less than 4 months ago, and she was falling on her head on her first tumbling line. Now she has the amount of difficulty that could surpass any Russian. It was an incredible double pike. Nice routine for Shannon.
American Shannon Miller, 9.862 her scores. Very pleased with her routine. Her coach, Kim Gwang-suk from North Korea, happens to be Tracy Wilson's favorite in this competition, all of 4'4".
This is probably the most difficulty-packed routine you'll see in this entire competition. She starts out with the Tkachev right into a Marinich, which is a men's release move. She has a little bit of form break in her knees. 1.5, right into a Jaeger. Look at the swing on her Giants. And a stuck landing. Incredible routine.
Well, Tracy's favorite comes through with a fabulous routine. And speaking of Tracy, she's on the floor with Canadian gymnast Janet Moran.
Janet, this has been a tough year for injuries. How are you doing?
I'm okay. I'm feeling better now. My arm's a little better. It's recovering, but it's still a little sore.
What about your foot? You hurt your foot at the qualifying?
Yeah, my foot's getting better now. I've been doing a lot of treatment, a lot of therapy on it, a lot of icing, but it's getting better. I still tape it, though.
Now, you're from New Brunswick, but you've been living in Willowdale. Is it tough being away from home? You're only 15 years old.
It's tough sometimes, you know, when you get homesick or when you have a bad training, but I've gotten used to it, really. It's been about 4 years now, and it's not as hard as it used to be.
Are you planning to be in Barcelona?
Yes.
Okay, well, good luck. We hope to see you there.
Thank you very much.
Janet Moran could have been here. However, in the team competition, this is what happens to her on the uneven bars.
What's happened is she's done her Tkachev, which is her release move, and she hasn't quite cleared the bar. She comes down really hard on her elbow, hyperextends the elbow.
American Betty Okino on the beam.
Betty Aquino is usually rock solid on this event.
This is another one, Larissa, you might say that she's got the longer lines in terms of...
Yes, she does. Her long legs actually add to her line. Layout, rock solid. She has to make sure her shoulders are right in line with the beam. Betty should be setting up for a double turn. Nails it.
Which is more difficult at this point on the beam, the turns or the jumps?
Her layout line and the double turn are pretty much of equal value. However, it's hard to keep your center of gravity spinning while you're on a 4-inch wide beam.
We've seen some impressive results from the Americans, Meskel, Aquino, of course Shannon Miller.
That was an awesome routine by Betty. She must be feeling really great right now. She hit a rock-solid beam routine, and beam is one of the hardest events. Any gymnast will tell you it'll make you or break you. She's got it over with now.
15,000 certainly loved it here at the Hoosier Dome. Mirela Pasca from Romania on the uneven bars.
There's a nice Ginger release move. She's working really well. That was a Tkachev. As you can see, her coach is standing in there behind her. That is just a safety precaution in case something happens. Full in dismount, a little hop in the ending, but it was great routine.
Our next competitor is Stella Ume on the uneven bars. She was 13th after the opening rotation.
Yes, vault was her first rotation. It's her strongest event, and here she's coming into her weakest event.
Why is that?
Stella's a strong person. She's a power person. She's not a swinger, but she does a great job considering. Her release move was the Tkachev. Giant full. Right into a double twist. Little hop in the ending, but a great job by Stella considering. Bard, her coach, he's pleased with that routine. So he should be.
Svetlana Bogunskaya, 4th after the opening rotation on the floor.
The thing to watch with Svetlana is the incredible feeling she puts into her routines. Every move has feeling and a meaning behind it. Little low with her chest on that full in. She's probably the most innovative dancer here.
She has a doll collection, and she uses the flexibility of those dolls to work out new moves. Obviously, some of this works in her floor exercise.
Yes, I remember seeing Svetlana a little while ago. She used to take Barbie dolls, and before she would go up on the event, she would put them through the routine, sort of as to psych her up. And it seems to work for her. Round off 1.5 into a round up back handspring, double back.
She's also the first competitor on the floor we've seen using little classical music as opposed to something more upbeat.
Yes, that's normal for the Russians. It's a typical Russian thing. They have much more feeling and presentation. They don't really use the boppy kind of music. Well, a very dramatic routine by Svetlana Boginskaya. Should move her up a couple notches in the standings.
Sitting in #1 spot is Kim Zmeskal of the United States on the uneven bars.
Kim's first release move, giving her a little bit of split in her legs.
What will that cost her in terms of points?
Usually those cost about 1/10, providing the judges can see it from their angle. Double pike dismount, nailed landing.
The crowd loves it. Bela Karolyi loves it. And he, of course, coached Nadia Comaneci in 1976, Mary Lou Retton in 1984. Svetlana Boginskaya making her move from 4th to 2nd place. 3 Americans in the top 10. Karolyi does not want to see Zmeskal lose her intensity, prepping for rotation #3, which is upcoming. Trying to build a team, perhaps with this youngster, Lavinia Milosovici. She's on the floor. She's 10th after the first 2 rotations.
Now, if you watch her first tumbling line, you'll notice it's probably the most difficult tumbling line in this competition. It's a combination pass of back tumbling and front tumbling. Round up back handspring, whip back handspring, full in, back out, right into a punch front. She's chosen to use Romanian type music, which suits her very well.
Any similarities between her and the great Nadia Comaneci?
I'm not so sure. Nadia was a different type of gymnast as the gymnasts today are. Nadia was more of a stylish, happy-go-lucky kind of gymnast. These are trickster gymnasts.
Is that what the judges are looking for more these days, tricks as opposed to the classic?
I think in the last couple years, they had been looking for tricks, and now within this year, they're starting to look for a little more dance with presentation, along with the difficult tumbling. Coming up with their last tumbling line. Barely even runs. Full in, back out. Nailed. It's a nice routine. Let's see what the judges do with it.
It's too bad that the crowd didn't react as much to it as they perhaps should have. Svetlana Boginskaya, her name means goddess in Russian.
Same vault as the Zmeskal. Nailed Yurchenko layout full. She just has incredible push-off off the horse, which helps her landing.
Our first look at Japan's Mari Kusugi.
Watch this mount. Round off layout onto the beam. Incredibly difficult because it's blind. You can't see where you're gonna land. 1, 2, 3 standing layouts in a row.
A rising star on the gymnastics scene. This is her first appearance at the Worlds.
If you watch Mari, her difficulty is tremendous. However, her lines aren't as polished as, say, the Russians or the Chinese.
Is that inexperience or training?
I think mainly it's just the body type that she has. If you look at her knees never straighten fully. Whereas a lot of the gymnasts here have hyperextended knees, so it makes hers look that much more bent.
Are they coached that way?
It's not that she's coached that way. She's probably told every day to tighten her knees, but they just don't go that far. Back handspring layout 2 feet into a back handspring jump. That's required. Setting up for a dismount now. Round off, full in, back out. A little bit low on the landing, though. She should be pleased with that.
The coaches certainly are. We've seen Kosugi on the beam. Now it's Stella Ume.
Stella's first tumbling line is so difficult. It's combination, back handspring layout 2 feet, back handspring layout, step out, nailed.
It isn't tough enough to land on a 4-inch beam. Certainly the pain involved in whether it's the back or the feet.
No, the body is so tight on the beam and you're so nervous and that adrenaline is pumping so hard, you don't feel a thing.
Do you feel it afterwards?
Yes, unfortunately you feel it afterward. Cartwheel, layout, layout. That tumbling line is so difficult because she's reversing her direction. Required trick to jump. Setting up for her dismount now. Should be a double back. Double back with 2 steps at the ending. It's those things that are costing her, but otherwise a great job for Stella. She's happy, and there's her mom in the crowd.
Well, it appears everyone is thrilled with that particular routine, including the crowd. Tatiana Gutsu, Soviet Union. She's in the top 10 after 2 rotations.
She's a fairly newcomer to the Soviet team. We haven't seen her too much in the international circuit this year. Giant full to a ginger. Perfect form. Kip right up to the straight handstand to Kachev. Look at the incredible boot on her swing. Double layout, nailed. It was an excellent routine. She should be really pleased with that.
Marks certainly reflect that. Kim Zmeskal, number 1 after the first rotation, number 1 after the second rotation on the balance beam.
Kim's got a lot of pressure on her right now. She's leading into the 3rd event. As I said before, this event can make you or break you.
Kim started in gymnastics at the age of 6. Back in 1982, when she joined the club, Mary Lou Retton was training for Los Angeles.
This tumbling here should decide where she finishes. Nailed layout, layout. Required full turn. Working low on the beam. Right now, Kim's probably just thinking, relax, I know I can do it. She's pretty much got her routine wrapped up right now. She knows she doesn't have any difficult tumbling lines left to go, just her dismount. Gainer layout, little wobble. Round off, double back dismount. Look at the height. She should be really impressed with herself. She's pretty much got that routine wrapped up.
Well, as far as the crowd is concerned, she has already got the gold in the bag. This is Xi Ling from the People's Republic of China on the uneven bars.
If nothing else, the Chinese have just gorgeous line. Look at the height on that Jaeger. If you watch their legs, they never separate. Tkachev.
Where did they get their discipline?
The Chinese train really hard like any other European country. They have a different attitude towards gymnastics than everybody else. They seem to take it as a, if I fall, and that seems to work for them.
Well, things are certainly working for the Americans at this point. Kim Smeskal is #1, Betty Okino in the top 5, and there's another American in the top 10, Shannon Miller. Bogunskaya doesn't like being #2. She wants #1. She's got one last chance coming up. Present and to have an American win the gold. This is Shannon Miller. She is 7th after 3 rotations.
This is one of Shannon's best events. Giant full, right into a ginger. A little bit of knee bend on that straddle up. Tkachev. Kip right up to handstand. Giant. Full in, back out. Nailed landing. Shannon's going to be really pleased with that.
Bogunskaya took over from Elena Shushanova. Can Tatiana Gutsu take over from Bogunskaya? We should find out in the next few years. This is her first trip to the Worlds.
Round off layout entry. Tatiana's setting up for a standing full. Nobody else in the world does this.
Why is that?
She nails it. It's an absolutely blind trick. It's basically a daredevil trick. Not many people want to risk doing that.
It's a way to get her name recognized on the world scene, isn't it?
Certainly is. Back handspring layout, rock solid again. Shoulders are in perfect line with the beam. Combination 3 leaps. Full twisting Corbett. It may look like that hurts a lot, but you actually hit your chest first. It takes up some of the shock.
Still looks like it hurts.
Should be setting up for 3 back handsprings, full in, back out dismount. 2, 3, full in, back out. Little bit low. It's gonna cost her. She seems pleased though.
Henrietta Onadi from Hungary, considered the best gymnast outside of the Soviet Union, but has had her troubles at these championships. She fell on the uneven bar and also the balance beam.
Doesn't really matter what Henrietta does on the vault right now. Unfortunately, the day is over for her.
Li Li from China. This is her favorite apparatus, the bars.
Starts out, front giant, to a half. And to catch up going the opposite way through the bars. Not many gymnasts do that. You have to be really tiny. Watch this. German giants. Only men do that.
How are the Chinese girls able to do it then?
Incredibly flexible shoulders.
American Betty Aquino.
Little bit of hop on her Yurchenko layout full. Still a good vault.
She has time to correct the flaw. She's got a second vault coming up. Bella Karolyi with some instructions for her. The defending world champion Svetlana Boginskaya on the bars.
Bouncing with the straddle over. Giant full. Right into Tkachev.
What kind of problems does her height cause in this particular apparatus?
She's not as able to do as many release moves as the other girls are. But her height adds to her lines. Double pike, nailed dismount. Could be very close.
Svetlana Boginskaya acknowledging the crowd. Betty Aquino with her second vault.
Basically, Betty needs to just nail her landing. And she does it. That could possibly bring her up into third spot.
Bella's certainly thrilled with that, so whatever instructions he gave her worked.
All right, Betty, bless your heart. Oh, little finger.
The defending champion, all she can do at this point is watch and wait, because she has done all she could possibly do. Cristina Bontas from Romania, who was fourth at the '89 Worlds, third at this point, and with a good routine here, could pass Boginskaya.
Well, with tumbling lines like that, it certainly could help her. It's a layout.
She's from a town called Bacău near Onesti, which is the home of Nadia Comaneci, who inspired her to take up the sport.
She's setting up for a back handspring layout to 2 feet landing.
How many required moves on the beam?
In this competition, it's required that you have 3 D elements, which means that you have to have 3 elements that are of equal high difficulty. The D element is the highest difficulty you can get without bonus. Setting up for a dismount now. Just waiting a little long. Round up back handspring, double back. She should be ecstatic with that routine. Unfortunately, the score isn't quite high enough to pass Boginskaya.
On the floor, Kim Zmeskal of the United States, and our computer tells us that if she hits a 9-9, she will take a gold. A huge upset in the all-round women's competition.
Kim is out there right now all by herself. All eyes in the stadium are on her.
Especially Coach Bella Karolyi, who wants it perhaps worse than her.
Could be. First tumbling line. Full in the pike position. She's got it.
Thinking one thing at this point. First of all, they're having a party here, enjoying watching her.
Look at that tumbling line. 3 whip backs in a row into a double back. The crowd's going wild. She needs to put everything she has into this last tumbling line. You can hear Belle in the background cheering for her. And she's got it. What a birthday gift for Bella Caroli.
It's official. Kim Zmeskal of the United States has just taken the gold medal away from defending champion Svetlana Boginskaya of the Soviet Union. Canada, her final score 39.001, beating your total from the 1989 Worlds, Larissa.
I think that's wonderful. Anytime a Canadian's up there, it's great.
Svetlana Boginskaya, who finishes second, doesn't look all that thrilled.
No, she's looking rather skeptical, actually. She probably feels that she shouldn't have lost her title, and possibly that had the competition been held in Europe, she would have won.
Here's one person who has absolutely no complaints with the judging, Kim Zmeskal of the United States, gold medal.
I'm not so sure she's actually got it sunk into her head that she's won yet. She looks a little shocked.
How long does it usually take before you realize something like this has happened?
I think as soon as she gets out onto that podium and hears her national anthem, it'll sink in. Here's another look at her second tumbling line. 1, 2, 3, whip back right into a double back.
Was that the reason why she won it?
I think it won it for her in the crowd's appeal, but I think just the overall performance did it for her.
She looks so calm. And Bella Caroli knows he's had another champion on his hands.
It's her last tumbling line. This is the tumbling line that clinches it for her. Double back, knows she has it, kicks out, and shows it.
Imagine being a world champion at 15. At the 89 Worlds, Brandy Johnson finished 7th to record the highest American finish. You are looking at Kim Zmeskal, the gold medalist from the United States. Svetlana Boginskaya of the Soviet Union finished 2nd. She was the defending champion. 3 Americans in the top 10. Bella Caroli could have himself another Olympic champion. Along with the 3 Americans, 3 Romanians in the top 10, led by Cristina Bontas. As far as Canada is concerned, Stella Ume of Mississauga, Ontario finished 17th. 39.011 is her score. And the finest gymnast outside of the Soviet Union, Henrietta Onodi, finishing 31st because of the falls. Final thoughts from the floor. Here's Tracy Wilson.
What a night for little Kim Zmeskal of the United States, competing in her home country. This huge partisan crowd willed her to win, and she did. And I tell you, you couldn't have written this one any better. For Sunil Joshi and Larissa Lowing, I'm Tracy Wilson saying goodbye from the 1991 World Gymnastics Championships.
Nothing quite like that feeling of victory, and the Atlanta